So hello, everybody, and welcome. Again, my name is Jeff Siegel. I want to welcome you to today's stretching sessions. We're going to spend the next 20-ish minutes together going through some different movements, stretches, exercises, things that hopefully are going to bring a little bit of energy and vitality into your body, and hopefully is going to break up some of the sedentary nature of perhaps working and sitting at a desk all day. And so as you'll see behind me, I've got a chair. That is going to be our sort of main prop for today. So I hope you have a chair lying around that you can use for some of these exercises. If you don't, that's okay. There's certainly ways to do these things without it, but I'm going to show you a bunch of different movements and exercises involving the chair. And again, things that my hope is that you can do and take bits and pieces of these with you during your day so that tomorrow when you're hanging out and the clock strikes 12 and you need a little bit of a break for your brain and a little bit of movement for your body, that maybe one or two of these exercises will stick with you as some things that you can do. And so, as I always just like to say, right, you are the expert in your own body. And so please take care of yourself. If there's any movement that just doesn't feel good, if there's pain or if it doesn't feel right for you, then just stop, move into a position that feels better. Right? You don't have to do anything. Everything I'm here is just an offering for you. So I want you to take what works and then just discard the rest. So with that being said, all right, I'm going to kind of start standing up. We're just going to get a little bit more attached, or I guess attuned to what's going on in our body and our breath, and then move from there. So I just invite you to come to a comfortable standing position. All right, taking a moment to notice your feet on the floor. Notice how your weight is distributed, right? Are you balancing evenly on your right foot, on your left foot? You can even sway a little to one side, sway back to the other side, come back to center. And then we're going to start with the arms. I'm going to have you reach one arm up, take a big stretch, and then pull the arm down, the other arm up. All right. Going here, opposite arms. I want you to imagine as if you're grabbing an apple off a tree here, right? Pulling down, breathing in and out as you're doing this. So just reaching overhead. Again, don't worry about how you look. Don't worry about if you're doing this right. Don't worry about if your breathing is all synchronized or what. Just noticing your breath, noticing what it feels like to reach one arm overhead. Maybe you're grabbing an apple. Maybe you're screwing in the light bulb. Maybe you're just reaching for the ceiling. I don't know. It doesn't make a big difference here. Good. Keep going a little bit. Go a little bit faster. So we're going to alternate. One arm comes up. Other arm comes up. Noticing your breath, moving in and out of your body as you're doing this. Maybe take a nice big exhale. Keep going a little bit faster. All right. Getting a little bit more motion and a little bit more energy. Alternating, both arms reach up, 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 a little bit faster. All right, we're getting close to our top speed here. Good. Go as fast as your body feels comfortable going right now. We're going to keep this up for about 10 more seconds. All right, you can imagine punching the ceiling. You can go for that grab and then twist. Keep pulling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it go. Let the arms just relax and dangle in front of you. Good. Tuck your chin and just let your body come into a little bit of this forward fold. Right. Breathing in, breathing out. We're going to do something similar with the legs, just do a little bit of marching in place to get some blood flowing down into the legs. Again, if you've been sitting for a while, good opportunity to shake things up. All right. So I'm just going to start with just pulling one knee up as high as I can, and then putting it down. Other knee comes up and down. If it helps to hold on to something, if you want to hold on to your chair for a little bit of support, all right, you can always do that, but we're going to go here. So just alternating, starting nice and slow. Breathing as you're doing this, right? And we can help with the balance. Don't worry about how high your leg gets. Again, we're trying to do this with as little judgment as possible. All right. If anything, you want to adopt that lens of appreciation of like, hey, my body can do this. Hopefully you can do it without too much strain, without too much pain. Pretty cool. We want to appreciate all the things that we can do with our body today, always starting there with what we can do. So we're going to speed it up a little bit more, just sort of alternating left and right. If you want to step to the side, if that's a little bit more fun for you, you don't have to stay exactly in the same place. You can even turn around. Again, there's not one right way to do this. We're high stepping up and over, going a little bit faster. Good, cranking up that speed a little bit more, left, right, keep going. And as fast as you feel comfortable with today, we're gonna go this for 10 seconds. Pull that knee up, push that foot down, and breathe for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it go. Pausing and breathing. These are these check-in points where I want you to deliberately pay attention to your body. Notice the sensations, notice what's going on. Maybe your heart rate's elevated a little bit more. Maybe you can feel a little bit of blood or a little bit of that burning in your legs, right? Just getting used to noticing these sensations, not turning them into something to be afraid of or worried about, just recognizing as a normal part of physical activity and actually something that can feel really, really good once you get comfortable with it. So got this opportunity, right, to wake up the upper body, wake up the lower body. We'll go into a couple different stretches and things here. So again, if you have a chair that you can use, I'm gonna have you position the chair, recognizing there are many sizes and shapes of chairs. So just sort of modifying this for whatever is gonna be best for you. I'm gonna grab the back of my chair. I'm gonna step back maybe about 2 or 3 feet. And then I'm just gonna come here, sinking down, pushing my butt backwards, allowing my head to drop down between my arms, and just taking a nice stretch here. Breathe in, breathe out. Thinking about dropping your head and chest down between your arms as low as feels comfortable for you. All right, this is a nice way to open up the front side of the chest, the shoulders, you're getting a stretch here through your upper back and upper body. And if it feels good, you can even wiggle a little bit from the left to the right, maybe shifting your weight from one side to the other side. Any little movements that your body wants you to take, just go for it. Right? This is your chance to kind of explore. And again, don't feel like you need to do exactly the thing that I'm doing here. I want you to tune into what's going on in your body. So just hanging in this position for another moment, take another deep breath in. And then exhaling, kind of pulling yourself back up to standing. I'm going to invite you to turn sideways so you have one hand resting on the chair. And again, I'm sort of stepping out a little bit. This is just here for support for the moment. I'm going to have you reach your other arm up and overhead. And then I want you to imagine if you're going to take that hand all the way down towards the chair, taking into this nice big side bend. All right, we're just holding onto that chair for a little bit of support. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, we're going to make this a little more dynamic. So I'm going to have you open up and then exhale, close. So inhale, arm reaches overhead, coming back up to standing. Exhale, push the hip to the side, reach the arm overhead, and just trying this at your own pace. Breathing in and up, breathing out and down. Focusing on that nice long inhale and drawing out that exhale, right? So the movement and the breath are moving together. Imagining breathing in, that breath actually moves your arm and body back up. As you exhale, it allows that stretch to deepen. Going one more time into this side, and then we'll switch. Excellent. Coming back down. Again, taking a moment, maybe giving that shoulder a little roll if it feels a little bit tight there, giving the hips a little bit of a swirl. Right, so after we go through a big movement like that, we want to come back to center, allow things to reintegrate. We'll try that on the opposite side. So things are shifting over if you want to use your chair for support. Again, grabbing with one hand or just resting your wrist on it. Breathing in and up. We're going to come into a nice long hold for a moment here. All right, and this nice side bend, looking like the letter C. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, then breathe in, open up. And breathe out, close. And finding your own pace here with your own breath, noticing what this side has to say today. Maybe it feels a little different, right? Maybe your shoulder feels a little bit different. Maybe the rib cage or side of your body feels different. Okay, all good things to notice as you're going through these motions. Breathing in and out. And if you're going, if you get a little bit of a crack or a snap, crackle, pop, right? As long as there is no pain or discomfort, right, then I'd say just sort of, keep going as things maybe move in a way that they haven't moved in a while. One more time, breathing up and down, and then letting it go. So again, coming back to standing, giving that shoulder a little bit of a roll, letting it settle back in place, and the hips and the torso, any sort of movement, all right, because that was a pretty deep, some side bends there. I'm gonna have you kind of turning it around, so we're just gonna do a little bit of a stretch before we come into some dynamic movement. So you've got the sort of cushion of the chair in front of you, all right, really basic, trying to kind of kick one foot up onto the chair, right? Now that might be really hard if you have a super high stool that you're on, so figuring that out for yourself. All right, the foot that's on the floor, we're going to twist it and try to turn it so it's sort of pointing forward. We got some nice alignment here. And beginning to take your hips and just shifting your hips forward. All right, you don't need to go very far until you begin to maybe feel a little bit of a stretch down the backside of that hamstring. So just hanging out here. And what I like to do is take the foot on the chair, point the toes, and pull it back. So I just rock back and forth a little bit through my ankle, getting the ankle involved, holding a little bit of that tension in the back of the hamstring. And then if you want to drop all the way down, maybe even grabbing the chair or grabbing your leg, letting your back round forward. And we're just going to come into a little bit of a forward fold, one leg up on the chair, breathe in, breathe out. This is your opportunity here to just let go of any strain that your body's been holding on to. Following that breath, each time you exhale is an opportunity to just drop in a little bit deeper, right? You might feel things soften and release. Maybe there's a little bit more space. That's your chance to maybe go a centimeter further, if that feels right for you, right? You never want to push past that point, though, where the tissues are unable to handle it. So coming up out of that, all right, now I'm going to have you take this same leg. We're going to go into a slightly different stretch. So you might need to wiggle yourself a little forward. All right, you're going to bend your leg so you're kind of placing your lower limb down on the chair. All right, and then you're going to maybe grab the top of your chair, grab the sides, whatever going to help you to put a little bit of weight here and just begin to sort of lean forward like this. This might be a little bit more of an awkward stretch. All right, but what we want to do is we want to get into a position where we can get some rotation on the leg and lean forward at the same time. And if this doesn't feel right for you, again, it's a little bit of a different setup, then don't worry about it. Hang out for a moment. Right? Ideally, what we're doing here is we're getting a nice deep stretch on the backside of this opposite hip and glute area. So you can shake that out. We'll switch to the other leg. All right, kicking that opposite heel up onto the chair, standing up nice and tall. Let's turn our back toes forward. All right, begin to kind of tilt your pelvis forward just enough so we lengthen this muscle right here. Feel that stretch, maybe running from the back of your knee all the way up to your butt. And then from the ankle, if you want to push your toes forward and pull it back. All right, you're noticing, hey, right, what happens when I do this motion? What happens when I do this motion? What changes in my body? Can I be with it? Can I learn? Can I listen? Can I stay curious and engaged? This is really what we're practicing here. Breathing, smiling. All right, we're doing something new and different. Hopefully, going to help you feel good at the end of this session. And then from here, folding forward, maybe grabbing your leg or the chair, dropping down into a position, and just letting your body come into that natural endpoint and staying with it. Breathe in, breathe out. And focusing on that exhale, allowing your body to relax. Softening into that stretch. One more deep breath in and out. And kind of coming up out of that position. Again, you can shake it out, and then if you'd like to try that other stretch, we're going to cross that leg forward and then kind of lean ourselves down. All right, just getting a little bit of a different angle here. All right, I'm pulling a little bit more pressure now into this area as I drop forward. And if this doesn't feel good, again, for your knee or anything else going on in your leg, all right, then you can just forget about it. But I want to give everybody the opportunity to do both sides of these motions here. And coming up out of that, great. So just sort of kicking the legs around now that we've had a chance to kind of open up the backside. All right. What I'm going to have you do is one more stretch for the front side of the hip. So this time you're going to turn facing, all right, away from that chair. You're going to kick one leg up so your toes are down here, or if you want to place the top of your foot down there. All right, and now this gives us something to push on. And what you want to do is you want to sort of push your foot into the chair, and this time you want to tilt your pelvis backwards. We're trying to open up the front side of your hip here. All right, you can do this just by standing here a little bit. All right, but this is going to get a lot more out of the motion if you take that front foot, pop it forward a little bit. All right, and now we begin to pull the front side of your hip open, right? That knee and foot coming out behind you. Again, if it's helpful to have something to hold on to, you can grab something, but you want to hop that front foot forward, push that back foot back, and just hang out in this position. Again, you're trying to pull your pelvis, rotating it backwards, all right, until you begin to feel a little bit of stretch here in the front of that hip and hip flexor area. Breathing, if you want to reach your arms up, if you want to go a little bit to the side, that's going to even deepen that stretch, right? This is an area that tends to get really pretty tight when we spend a long time in our day sitting. If it feels like a lot of work on that front leg, yes, that front leg is doing a good amount of effort here to just kind of hold you in this single leg stance. Hold that stretch, breathe in and out. One more time, breathing in and out, pushing a little bit more into the chair if that feels okay for you. And then releasing gently, right? Always coming out of those positions as gently as you can. We don't want to overdo it after we've stretched something. So we'll try that on the other side, right? So this time again, sort of taking one foot far away, other foot comes back up onto the chair. All right, and then from there, we try to begin to rotate or tilt our pelvis backwards, opening up the front side of the body. Again, if you want to breathe the arms up, you can go here in this nice position. You can reach a little bit to the side, up and over into that twist like we did before. Or we can just hang out, arms on the side. You can be like, you know what, I'm just trying not to fall over and bust my face. Totally fine, hands on your hips, hands on your leg. All right, again, pull and push that back foot down into the chair. Finding that stretch on the front side of your hips. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time, breathing in and breathing out. Gently releasing, stepping that foot down and coming out. Right. Letting the legs kind of feel what's going on here. We did a nice opening on the front side, nice opening on the back side. Hopefully the hips feel like they have a little more space. Now we have a chance to put that all together. We're going to do a little bit of a squat. Again, we can use the chair to help assist that. So again, I'm going to grab the back side of my chair here. Okay, taking my feet out in a position that sort of maybe about hips width or a little bit wider. You can let your toes turn out a tiny bit if that feels fine for you. All right, what I want you to do is just imagine you're just going to sink your weight down right between your feet and then stand back up. If you want to take your hands on the back side of your chair. All right, we're going to start with like a little baby squat. All right, as if you're sitting down in sort of an imaginary stool. And then getting a little bit deeper each time. Maybe trying to go an inch lower if that feels okay for you. If your knees agree to this, if your hips agree to this, if your ankles agree to this, right? You can kind of play around with the depth, right? Using the chair here if you need it to kind of help shift a little weight into your arms to help get you back up out of this. And this is your opportunity to play with that squat, feeling what it's like to sink your weight right between the inside of your 2 feet. All right, maybe you can come all the way to the bottom. All right, you don't win an award if you can, but it's a great position to practice being in, bottom of that squat. All right, and just gonna take about another 10 seconds here, moving up and down through this full range of motion. All right, and again, if you just want to stick with the little sort of baby half squat, totally fine. Really good move. If you want to go deeper, up to you, go deeper. Breathing. Feel connected to your feet, feel connected to the ground. Notice your entire legs now working in unison. Ankles, knees, and hips. And one more time, down and up. Good. And shaking it out, letting it go. Then taking this opportunity to sort of check in with your body, notice how things feel. All right, maybe that was a whole lot more than you're used to. Maybe that was like a little bit less than you think you can handle. All right, so I appreciate that. We're gonna kind of wrap things up in the next couple of minutes, right? But I still want to offer you one or two more moves that you can do. So this time I'm gonna actually have you turn. All right, we're gonna sort of end sitting in the chair. Okay. So I'd like you kind of, it's helpful if you want to scoot your way, maybe all the way to the edge of your chair. All right, so you can support your back. From there, reaching around, grabbing whatever structure you can on the back of your chair. All right, taking that other hand, either placing it on the outside of your knee or maybe grabbing the chair itself. And what we want to do is we want to slowly begin to pull ourselves into a twist. So I'm going to turn as if I'm looking back over one shoulder behind me. All right, getting a little bit of that twisting tension across your mid-belly. Exhale and feel if you can pull yourself a little bit deeper. And then you're going to release, come back to center, reposition, and trying for the other side. Again, grabbing behind you, some part of the chair, hand comes across the body or on the chair, and beginning to twist. Breathe in, breathe out. Unwinding, coming back to center. We're going to do one more variation. This is similar to what we did standing, where we placed our foot on the chair, but at an angle. This is, we're going to try, so often maybe when you sit down, right, you do this, right? We get into this position, right? We kind of sit here like this, or if you're really flexible, like this. All right, whatever position is good for you, I want you to cross one ankle right on top of that opposite knee. But this time, we're going to sit up nice and tall, and then you're going to lean into it. All right, lean in, fold forward. Let the arms dangle to the front, to the side. You can grab any part of your body. Let your head come down in front of you. Keep going until you begin to feel a little bit of that stretch in that hip, in the leg that is bent and crossed over. All right, this is a really good way to release some of the muscles in your glutes. Breathe in, breathe out. And again, if you're up here in this position, you can try working on pushing the knee down ever so slightly, maybe getting a little bit more of that internal rotation in your hip. And then coming up out of that, taking the leg, giving a nice little swing and release, and trying on the opposite side. Leg comes up and crosses over, gently allowing the knee to fall towards the floor, and then leaning in. Again, chest coming down towards the leg. Whatever you begin to feel that action in that bent hip, breathe, and just hang out there. Relax your face, relax your head, relax your neck. All right, fill your mind with something that brings you joy. Right? Think of something that makes you smile, something that makes you laugh, something that brings a little bit of lightness to your day. We want to invite that lightness into our body, breathing, releasing, letting go of all the baggage and tension we don't need. Good, and releasing, coming up out of this. And so we're going to end our practice here. Feet nice and gently planted on the floor. All right, torso nice and tall, feeling that length through our body. Hands just resting gently, all right, on our legs. And just ending with 5 deep breaths together. So breathing in through your belly, breathing out through your mouth, and breathing in, inflating your abdomen, and then nice long big exhale. If it feels good and you want to close your eyes, go close your eyes. Again, bring to mind something that makes you smile. Each exhale, letting go of any extra tension that you feel in your muscles that you can release. And then just holding on to this moment here, noticing what it feels like, having spent a little bit of time moving your body in maybe familiar ways, maybe unfamiliar ways. All right. Hopefully, again, leaving this session a little bit more connected and attuned, a little bit more energized, and hopefully a little bit more balanced and ready to get into the rest of your day today. So I want to thank you so much for joining me for today's stretching sessions, right? And until next time, remember, breathe, smile, and have a wonderful day.